I can say with utmost confidence that I have been enjoying this Pokemon game more than any other Pokemon game that has come before it. As a longtime fan of the franchise and having played every single mainline Pokemon title since Red and Blue, the time I have spent with Pokemon Legends Arceus has been nothing short of incredible from start to finish. Now, I haven't done everything there is to do in the game yet, as I haven't maxed out my Pokedex and haven't finished all the side quests, but I have finished the main story and have gotten the majority of Pokemon caught, along with dozens of side quests under my belt. And I still refuse to put this game down until I do absolutely everything there is to do. In this review of Pokemon Legends Arceus, I will go over why this Pokemon title is the most important Pokemon game to have come out since the original Red and Blue back in the mid-1990s, dive into its gameplay, combat, and various other systems while explaining why it demands your attention and consideration. Let's first get this out of the way. If you are a fan of Pokemon and its games that have come out over the years, you will most likely enjoy this game or at least appreciate aspects to this game. If you are a fan of large open area epics like Monster Hunter games or RPG games with a heavy focus on collecting, crafting, and battling, this game could also be a title that you're looking for. If you would like to know more about my first 10 hours of the game, check out my first impressions video tagged here on the screen for you, as I go into detail about how I believe the Pokemon franchise has benefited by going fully 3D, along with subtle but appreciated changes made to the combat system. I'll go into that briefly here as well, after fully exploring all the maps in my 35-hour playthrough of the game. Now then, let's get started! I will not be discussing any major spoilers in this review, but be prepared to see gameplay sampled from all regions and maps of the game. You start as a boy or a girl of your choosing, seemingly being transported through a rift into an unfamiliar world. Sooner or later, you discover that you have been taken back in time to the region of Hisui, what will eventually become Sinnoh as we know it in Pokemon Diamond and Pearl games. Meeting up with Professor Laventon, a scientist and scholar itching to create and complete the Pokedex of the region, takes you to Jubilife Village, a sprawling yet quaint town of settlers from all over the world. Here in Jubilife, you meet acquaintances and establish bonds with a number of NPCs and eventually meet the Commander Komodo and Captain Silene, as they order you to start out as a recruit of the Survey Corps to catch Pokemon and fill out the Pokedex, along with sorting out the mystery with that massive space-time vortex that brought you here in the first place. It is a very basic Pokemon tale that is very straightforward to understand, with some political and ideological flair thrown in with the Diamond and Pearl clans clashing with different values, creating a story that has its peaks and valleys with twists and turns with a traditional Pokemon-like finale. Don't expect anything too different from the other Pokemon stories, but what is here is sure to please fans of the franchise. I especially like the discourse between the morals of catching Pokemon and how to best manage a life where humans and Pokemon can exist peacefully alongside each other. Jubilife serves as your base of operations, and as the only real large settlement to come across in Hisui. Here, players can take on side quests, ranging in helping deliver goods to people, catching and showing certain Pokemon, participating in Pokemon battles, racing through rings on the back of a Pokemon, popping balloons, and much more. Completing each quest rewards the player with valuable crafting items or other goodies that will help you out on your long and perilous journey. Players can also visit the dojo to access powerful moves for his or her Pokemon. In addition, there is a decent amount of character customization to be had with changing up your kimono and casual wear, alongside configuring an assortment of accessories to wear. Jubilife is a peaceful place to hang out and relax, as you will constantly be returning to it after each expedition to the wilderness beyond its gates. Let's start off by talking about Pokemon Legends Arceus' decidedly larger world and environments. These large 3D environments represent perhaps the aspect most different from the older games. By having everything changed to a 3D perspective with a fully operational camera instead of a mostly isometric view of the previous Pokemon games, more detail can be packed into the screen at any given time. This allows for characters and NPCs having much more dynamism and character to them, as expressions are easily readable with facial expressions that correlate realistically to the topics at hand and circumstances being discussed. The sternness and rigidity of leaders of the Galaxy team is easily expressed with these much more detailed character models, contrasting to the more lighthearted banter and carefree attitudes of your fellow colleagues in your scouting squad. This goes beyond the work added to the characters and rethinks how we view the Pokemon games in a 3D perspective. All of the 5 main maps included in Pokemon Legends Arceus are massive, and all showcase unique features of Hisui's landscapes, with the first map showing off plains and small rivers, with each consecutive map expanding to more varied landscapes, including marshlands, large bays with heavy uses of water, large towering mountains, and snow-capped tundra areas. Each region feels varied enough with their landscapes that gives the player meaningful incentive to want to explore everything they can. And explore you can! Massive vistas with towering mountains can be explored and scaled with the help of Pokemon that you obtain in certain story sections. Along with mountains, rivers, lakes, and other large bodies of water, notably the Bay and Cobalt coastlands, can be surfed along, as well as being able to view the region from the sky. These Pokemon are awarded to you after completing certain story beats in each perspective region, and traversing these 5 massive environments are an absolute blast with these Pokemon. The great thing about the progression in this game is that after acquiring these Pokemon, returning to previous maps can be highly beneficial, as more areas can be further uncovered, yielding more powerful Pokemon and more mysteries to uncover. The exploration is just so peaceful and rewarding, netting the player with valuable experience by tapping into resources found across each of the maps, like shaking trees for berries, collecting ore, tree branches, flowers, and much more. Hiding in the grass and waiting for the right moments to chuck your Pokeballs at Pokemon is exhilarating. These serene landscapes are made even more joyful to play around in with the gorgeous soundtrack that plays, showcasing the beauty of the Hisuian region, while also paying homage to classic music tracks of Diamond and Pearl. While the graphics aren't exactly cutting edge, it gets the job done fine enough here, with characters' clothing becoming wet after a rain shower, snow sticking to the fabric, and the delightful weather effects. What's here is absolutely serviceable, but leaves some room to be desired for more geometric complexity that I'm sure will be improved upon in future entries. Speaking of Pokemon, there are a lot of Pokemon to find and collect in this game, just over 250 to be more precise. The art of catching wild Pokemon in Pokemon Legends Arceus is very different from other mainline entries, as instead of having to be in battle with each Pokemon to ready your Pokeballs, players can also be out in the fields, catching their Pokemon of choice from afar while hiding in the grass or while in the water. This dynamism of catching Pokemon makes each encounter quite different from other encounters, as missing a shot or having a failed catch attempt will often alert the Pokemon, either angering them or causing them to want to get the out of there. Standard Pokemon principles apply here while in battle as well, as whittling down their health and causing status effects will greatly increase your chances of catching the Pokemon. Alpha Pokemon can also be found and captured while roaming about in Pokemon Legends Arceus. These Alpha Pokemon are identified with their mostly larger appearance and their insidious red eyes, but catching these powerful Pokemon is entirely worth it, as their stats are considerably better than other Pokemon roaming the fields. In addition to these Pokemon, frenzied Pokemon integral to the story provide boss fight-like encounters to the Pokemon formula, tasking players to dodge out of harm's way while chipping away at their health bar in the form of throwing bombs to relax them. Players can use their own Pokemon to battle these massive Pokemon, and upon depleting their health bar, gives the player with a great opportunity to pummel these Pokemon with bombs to try to take these massive behemoths down. Each encounter is fun and doesn't overstay its welcome. It forces players to adapt a more evasive mentality that is more focused on identifying attack patterns and opportunities to strike. These fights are infrequent and never overstay their welcome, and it is a fun little diversion to break up the pace of the game. If you played this game, what do you think of the frenzied Pokemon encounters? I'd love to hear about what you think by dropping a comment below. The game's combat is worth special mention here, as while it's essentially the same, there have been meaningful tweaks made to the formula. Moves can be tweaked to agile or strong style to hit with less damage while netting you a potential extra turn, or turn attacks into a strong attack at the expense of a following turn, respectively. The Pokemon's turns can be viewed on the right side of the screen, helping players get a better understanding of their maneuverability and adds more strategic optimization to their battles. In addition, players can swap out moves while outside of battle with ease, as each Pokemon can still only hold up to 4 moves at once. Being able to switch moves at any time without having to find a move tutor like the older games is so much more accommodating, and this gives a player so much more freedom to tweak his or her strategy for each situation. Crafting is not only necessary, but extremely simple to execute. Early on in the game, you will be able to craft anything you have a recipe for, whether it be Pokeballs or potions. By collecting ingredients from the landscapes in Hisui, you'll be able to use these ingredients to craft into items that will aid you on your travels. You can craft these items on the fly as well, giving you more incentive to stay in the zone and not to return to the campsite or village. Crafting is essential to keeping you in the region longer, hooking you in to tap each resource dry and scour each of the maps completely. There's just so much to see and do in this game. From its variety of Pokemon that help you explore the varied landscapes, from how to catch certain Pokemon, to participating in side quests, crafting items, filling out your Pokedex, managing your Pokemon stats and moves, trading with players all over the internet, and more. No, this game doesn't currently have a feature to battle strangers or friends online, but even without that feature, there is so much content in here that provides hours upon hours of fun to be had well after the story credits roll. With many legendary Pokemon to collect, learning more about Arceus and its role in shaping Hisui and the Sinnoh region that evolved many years after the game, there is a wealth of content to be discovered for fans itching to stay in this love letter of a Pokemon game. If you haven't already done so, I definitely encourage you to check out Pokemon Legends Arceus, as it gets my highest recommendation to any Pokemon fan and for fans of action RPGs in general. Sure, the graphics are certainly not the greatest the Switch has to offer, but Pokemon Legends Arceus represents the first foray into fully 3D Pokemon games for Game Freak, and I can only imagine each new release will improve in the future. So, what did you think of my review? Have you played Pokemon Legends Arceus, or are you going to hold off on it? Let me know in the comments below, and please like and subscribe to my channel. At Fun My Life, I strive to create quality content surrounding video games with reviews, discussions, first impressions, top 10s, and more. If that interests you, welcome aboard the FML train. In just a few days, look forward to more Pokemon Legends Arceus content in the form of a 3-minute review video, where I will fit everything into a subsidized, straight-to-the-point review of this awesome game. I hope to see you in a few days. In the meantime, happy Pokemon hunting!